Hi, and welcome to Cryptosis. My name's Rusty G, and this week I decided to go all Coryfied, like Cory, but all Coryfied, and do the headset, kind of like Cory. No. So my laptop, I
Works.
apparently decided to update and completely forgot to, you know how it says update and shut down? Yeah, that happened. Well, I shut it down and didn't turn it back on to let it do all the updates. So anyway, my co-host with me, Shane Carter, as well as Cory McGuffin. How are you guys doing this week?
What's up,
Doing
Rusty?
pretty good. Can't complain. Crypto's going up. Well, it's kind of coming back down, but it's going up a good bit this week, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Well,
Shane, how's your week going?
crypto hasn't gone up. Bitcoin has gone up. Crypto in general has gone down. It sucks because I'm in a lot of alts right now, but it's doing pretty good. I've kind of stepped away from the coins this week a little bit to work on my program, work on my trading program that I'm looking at. If anyone has information about Microsoft Access database, I will be more than happy to take your input. But Rusty, how's your week been? We don't typically ask you that, but
Yeah, I actually started taking Udemy classes. If you know anything about online courses, you can take Udemy, and I've been taking Udemy classes for SQL because SQL is a huge thing. So I find that very interesting. It took me 4 classes of the exact same database class to actually make a C in it finally when I graduated. But I understand databasing. I get it. It's very logical. I think it's great and wonderful. I just never took the time to learn it. But it's a very lucrative job to get into. So that's actually kind of partly what I've been spending my week doing outside of cryptocurrency. I actually went through, and because of one of the ICOs that we recently talked about, Envion. Is it Envion? Envion? I don't know.
Envion.
Yeah, because they recently started trading on HitBTC. I went ahead and made my purchase for 100 of the Envion coins to see how that goes and what happens. So I think it'll be interesting to say the least.
What'd you get them at?
I got them at I want to say 88 cents US dollars. I don't remember specifically. I think I shared it with you guys in the chat during the week what I did specifically when I made the purchase. I think maybe
Yeah.
I'll have to go to my coin tracking. It's just right now I'm having to do everything from my phone, which is completely unnormal for me. I'd normally be full HD and all this stuff, but because I'm running off my phone, I did not restart my Surface. So yeah, I'm waiting on it to restart now. So
good job.
Well, 88 cents ain't bad. I got it at 65 during the ICO, so hopefully it won't drop below that.
Well, I mean,
that's
it does. Envion's a good project, so there's a chance that it's gonna do well in the future. I think it's still a little early. Obviously we talked about dividends earlier this week, but I still think it's just a little bit early to buy coins, so I haven't jumped in just yet. But full disclaimer, some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, we do own some of these coins, so we're not trying to push anything on anyone. So don't get it twisted. We aren't playing like that. We're just trying to give our
yeah,
general
absolutely.
information.
I agree with you, Shane. We're not trying to be shillers of any kind of any sort. We're just trying to talk about what we actually purchase and what we get into and what we enjoy. I love the way that ICOs get started. The problem is the follow through and their completion. So I don't really get into ICOs. I like to read about them. I like to see about them. Envion was one that I like to read, and it came out, to be pretty good. So I think the whole idea of being able to drop in either next to a power source, whether it be solar panels like they showed in the video, or at a power plant of any kind, whether it be coal, whether it be nuclear, whether it be electrical, hydroelectric, whatever it is, and drop in and be able to start a mining rig, I think is amazing. So I think their project is awesome. So I think Cory during the week, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, while we're talking about Envion and it was on the list to talk about, we might as well go ahead and talk about it. I mean, it's not really a staking coin, but I mean, you do get ether dividends for holding the coin. So it's one of those kind of passive earning coins like a staking would be.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, tell us a little bit about staking because not everyone knows. We may still have new people coming on. And again, you can ask questions over here on the side. You can go ahead and leave comments and ask questions here on the side if you want. But tell us what a little bit about staking is versus holding or hodling, as we would call it. What's the difference?
Well, staking, you have to have a good butcher, and he has to have ribeyes. And no, just playing. That's a different stake. No, what this is like, you have basically you're running a full node or some sort of program in most cases on your computer that's a wallet, and it'll help verify transactions that are going on the blockchain. Kind of like mining, but it's less in like hardware intensive. So it'll be a lot less. You know, you can get through with a lot less using that. You may have to hold more coins, and sometimes it might be an impossible amount of coins for just like the regular Joe, like with Dash, you know. But most of the time, it involves holding a certain amount of coins in a wallet on your computer and it being online.
Okay. All right, cool. So the idea is that we've gone through and made purchases either through an ICO or, like myself, I purchased on HitBTC. So I'm more, I guess, hodling at this point, just to see where the price goes. Shane, any thoughts?
It's kind of rough to talk about staking. Like, I know Cory was kind of foaming through some of his words, but it's hard to talk about staking because a lot of coins have different processes for how they function. And one of the important things that if you're going to stake coins, make sure you understand how your coins are going to grow. Understand what it takes, whether it's age or the amount of coins. The idea behind staking is that you don't have one person with a big bag of coins that can control how blocks are made in the future. That would be more of a centralized thing like banks. So it's important to understand how your coins are being used or doing work.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to say this every time we talk about a coin. Always do your research so that you know the purposes of that coin, why you're doing what you're doing. You don't ever want to get into it and just be completely blindsided, like BitConnect. But anyway, exactly.
Speaking of
Invion, I
BitConnect,
think is
BitConnect is a stakeable coin still. So even though the lending platform is down, you can still stake that shitty coin.
I did.
Well,
I think I gave mine to Shane to take over.
I mean, I have coin staking. I'm not going to say if they're yours or not, but I have coin staking. But I mean, it's either way, it's still a crypto. Like, there's still a chance that it's going to come back. We're not here to discuss Bitcoin or BitConnect and their qualms or whatever. But there's a chance that in the future, maybe it'll fork, maybe it'll come back. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about BitConnect too much. But yeah, I mean, I can
I don't blame you. It's a stakeable coin, though. Yeah. While we were talking about it, thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah. So, any other last thoughts about Invion before we move on?
Not really, as far as staking goes. You don't get paid Invion tokens. You get paid Ether for holding the Invion tokens, and they have a calculator that you can figure out how much you can make, and a lot of these actually have calculators too, that you can go to certain websites and they'll show you how much you can make from the staking.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of odd on HitBTC. The only way you could trade in to get Invion specifically was Bitcoin. So you could only trade Bitcoin to get Invion. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It wasn't like I could just drop in Ethereum like I've been doing for trading on the Binance and on the HitBTC, because the reason why I've been using Ethereum is because that's what I mine here in the background is I mine Ethereum. So I've just been taking that money that I get and then use it for trading purposes. So I thought it was kind of interesting. So I took a little bit of my Bitcoin and put it over in the HitBTC so that I could do it. But now I have another microtransaction sitting there that's just doing nothing. It's driving me nuts.
No, it happens. Sitting there with that dust.
All right, so we were going to talk earlier in our chat about POS coins. BitConnect may be one of those coins, unless you're staking it. something along those lines. So, what were your thoughts on that, Corey? You had left a comment about that, but I don't think I saw it in the Discord channel, but I don't think we got any more in depth into it. So, what was your idea behind some POS coins?
There's a whole bunch of them, and some of them you have to have master nodes, which you would get those, or you can sometimes you can make those. Some nodes you just download the application on your computer and run it, and it has to be running all the time. There's some that do delegated proof of stake, where you will vote on someone that's working within the community, and you're basically saying, hey, I believe in this person, and ever how many coins you hold, they'll pay you back. And usually with those delegated ones, you don't have to be online all the time. Some of these coins, in order to get staking done, you have to be one of the delegates in order to get in that. I know Lisk and BitShares, they only have like 100 or so a piece that you can be a delegate for, and if you have coins while you're a delegate, then you'll get paid. You'll get a payout with those.
Now, with some of those, go ahead, Shane. Sorry.
You'll actually, as a delegate, you'll actually distribute your what you gain to the people that are under you as well.
Yeah, because I saw some of those. You're actually, and you are kind of like a pool in a sense. Is that right? Where you're doing some of the percentage that you take for doing whatever it is, like with particularly ARC, because I think with ARC that's what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a DPoS.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the whole point behind staking is to have a is to ensure that the blockchain is legit, to make sure all the blocks that are upcoming are valid. So you'll have multiple computers that are basically trying to create the next block, and this is a little different. It's a different algorithm between proof of work versus proof of stake. So you're using different computers to create blocks, but it's almost like it's a race. Who can create the first block first, or the next block first, and then tell all the other computers that, hey, I've done, start over on a new one. So it's a little bit different from proof of work.
Okay. So yeah, because like with proof of work, you're actually having to do like what I'm having to do behind me with my Ethereum. I'm having to use my GPU for actually doing math calculations to actually be able to put an answer into that, particular block, because I'm having to solve some sort of mathematical equation through the algorithm and all that jazz. That's with the Ethereum. Of course, I can change to whatever coin that I want, but particularly that's what I'm doing is I'm using my proof of work instead of stake of work. So.
And speaking of Ethereum, proof of stake is supposed to be coming in this year with Casper, and it's not really known how much Ethereum you're going to have to hold. A lot of people are saying it could be as low as 11. Some people are saying like 30 something. And I know at first they were talking like it might have to be like 1,000 or 100, but since the price has gone up so much, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little bit of a lower number to try to entice people to do some coin staking.
Shane, you look like you were going to say something and just kind of.
No. Drink water. I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's a whole different ball game whenever you start changing the way things have worked previously, especially for mining, because mining has also become a web-based thing as well, where you can sit and have something on a server that when someone comes to your website, you can be mining and having something set up in the background so that, their CPU is, running cycles for you as well, which is a little bit different, but, it's the difference in how you're getting these coins is kind of what we're talking about. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean that's more on the mining. There's a lot of coins you can mine. Some you can't mine at all. There's some that are already pre-mined and they just give them out through staking and different things like that.
Rusty.
But I didn't do like a whole lot of research on like which ones those are. I just looked up a bunch of stuff that you can stake.
No, it's also important to understand how many coins that you have to have. We were talking about the what was it, Zencash? Zencash has a masternode that we were talking about getting into, and it's one of the cheaper ones that we thought we could actually obtain within a decent amount of time. So it's important to understand that if you're going to do any kind of masternodes, that you're going to have a collection of coins that are going to have to be in that wallet for a certain amount of time, because some of the staking pools work based off of the age of coins. Other ones work off of randomized block selection. So it all depends on how you want to work and understanding how it works for you. And you're going to have a payout. You need to understand that payout has to be advantageous for you. So when the reason why there is a payout is because you want to process transactions for these coins and want to make sure that the network can continue to run. So you're holding these coins as a backbone for the network, so to speak.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, hopefully, if you saw that in the background, I was actually camera switching there. I apologize. I finally got my machine up. Is everyone hearing me okay?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So we're talking about the staking of coins, different coins, the way that you go about getting them, mining in different ways. What other coins are out there? Because we've talked about it before. There are, I think, a little over 1,100 different altcoins out there that are available for us to purchase in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it's only on a trade platform like Binance, Bitfinex, which I don't know why I just said Bitfinex, because you're not supposed to be able to trade in the United States with Bitfinex, but GDAX,
Coin Exchange.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry. We talked about all those last week and didn't even touch all of them.
Coinigy, Robinhood.
Yes. Bitcoin. Yeah. So what other coins out there could you want to keep going?
Well, like I was saying about some of them being more difficult would be like Dash. Dash, you have to have a master node, and you have to have at least 1,000 Dash on that master node in order to get the payouts. So Dash is like what, $700 per token?
Oh wow!
So if you got $700,000 you want to spend on a Dash master node, it can be pretty profitable because you get about 2 Dash a week. If you can pull it off. Of course, if you got $700,000, you may not need 2 Dash per week.
Exactly, and that's kind of the idea where I wanted to lead to, was that there is so many other coins and so many different ways to go about getting these coins that it can get very cumbersome, and especially for someone who's never joined the cryptocurrency world and knows what in the world is what's going on. I am still very, very, very new into this. I literally started last November, and well, technically 2 years ago when Cory gave me my first coin tip, but that doesn't really count because I didn't really do anything with it or learn anything with it after the fact. I didn't really start picking up until just now. So I would say since November and I'm still learning. And that's the reason why in my description I say cryptocurrency madman, because there's just so much to learn. So Cory, you actually started a document for us this past week talking about staking some of these coins and different coins. And I think Shane was actually in there right before we got started. So can you tell us a little bit about what that spreadsheet was that we were going to talk about possibly?
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to put together a list of different ones that I knew about. And then when I was doing some research, I found out there was a lot more. And then there was a lot more that I didn't even want to put on the list because there were so many of them. Some of the coins I was looking at, it was some older lists and they don't even do staking anymore, or the coin's really not that popular, or some are really new and they're not even doing it yet. Another interesting one I was looking at was OK Cash. You can stake with that one, but your node is actually doing minting instead of like processing transactions to what normally you would be doing. You'll be taking in coins and washing them and sending them out as brand new coins to privatize transactions.
Oh, wow. Shane?
What I was I'd say was to add on to the master node. You said earlier, Rusty, or I think Cory said it, if you've got $700,000, you can run a Dash node. But one of the cool things about that though is if you have $700,000 and you're getting 2 Dash per week, that doesn't seem like a lot, but you also have to take into account that the coin can inflate in price. That is a kicker as well. So you're getting the 2 dash per week, but you're also locking up your coins and setting them aside for a while, and it's the ultimate form of hodling, for example. So
yeah, and another thing with that is a lot of people don't have 700,000 to get a master node, but there are people that will like fund most of the master node, and people will also pitch in their dash, and then they'll split up that 2 dash payout to basically cloud stake is what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's interesting to say because I could see some of these platforms in the future doing Kickstarters and GoFundMe's and Indiegogos to get some of these things, because that's the whole idea behind cryptocurrency, is to be decentralized. Whenever hey, I need a whole lot of money to get this thing going. So side note, also I could see in the future, and I think we do this now with public lending, like Lending Tree and a couple other websites where you can borrow money from other people in the interwebs, where you're not having to go through a bank and you're just going through the honor system, or with the ones that you're using now in like Lending Tree, that's more than an honor system. They're actually looking at your credit, but something along those lines. Just sidebar, I had a thought about that while you were talking about that, Cory.
We're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a talk when this is over about why you know about Lending Tree.
Isn't there a commercial on TV or something?
Yeah,
maybe.
But what you was talking about lending, you have coins like Salt that will hold your crypto as collateral, and you can borrow actual USD if that's something you're into.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so any other coins specifically that you wanted to hit before we move on?
Neo, that's another one that's kind of unique, where you hold Neo and then you get paid in gas, and they're two separate tokens. They use the gas to pay for the transactions, and you get paid that for holding the Neos. So that's kind of neat.
So is that kind of like the Steam thing, where you're getting, Steam's more all underneath one house, where you're getting Steam power and Steam gas, so it's still kind of the same house but thing, or no?
No, you're thinking of Steam and Steam Power. Steam has free transactions, so that they don't need any kind of fees or gas or anything, so you really can't stake that. You can put some in like a wallet, and sometimes like a savings wallet, and they'll pay you interest. And then if you have Steam Power, whenever you upvote stuff, then you'll end up gaining Steam back for doing that, but it's not really staking.
Okay. I just as soon as you described it that way, I was like, wait a second, that sounds a lot like, you do this, but you get that. And then, like I said, I'm still very new on the back end of some of this stuff. So staking is still new to me, because like I said, right before we even got started, was I need to talk to you about ARC and the ARC wallet and what I need to do with my, because I tried to do the delegate thing, and then when I tried to do the delegate thing, it said that I needed to, I put in a name, and it's like, oh, you're trying to become a delegate. I'm like, no, I need, anyway. Shane, thoughts?
I was looking over Nav. I was going to show a pretty good example. Navcoin has a staking program as well. I was trying to get back to the sheet I was at. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Is this the sheet that we had publicly between ourselves, or was this a different
No, this
sheet?
is actually their website. I was going to show an example of how things that you can look for on their website.
Okay. Any charts that you'd love to show off?
No. No.
It's been kind of funny. We've been talking about buying and purchasing different coins at different prices and things. And I actually purchased in an extra $500, $250 on my side and $250 that I gave to Cory, because Coinbase apparently only allows me $250 a week. So I just gave Cory that money and he purchased it for me. But it's interesting to watch some of those. And that's another thing I've been learning on the side, is charts and watching all that stuff. So, able to pull up the website yet?
No, I think it was a Steam post that I was looking at. I don't actually have. I have some Navcoin, but I don't have the Nav wallet. So I'm not not familiar on actually how it works. I'm not as far as the interface and stuff goes, but with NAV you can get up to 5% per year, and that doesn't. Ultimately, I have conflicted feelings about this because I don't know if it's really worth, locking up NAV coins for a year to get 5% whenever I can, trade that and hit 70% right now based on my NAV coins. Like I don't know that it's completely worth it. So you have to look at what you're trying to invest into and wanting to hold coins, and look at what you can do versus trading, or with trading versus staking them. I know I keep talking about using the technology that we're playing in rather than just trying to make money. But if you're staking coins, you're looking to make a profit. You're not trying to just make sure the network can stay up and running. You're trying to make a profit out of it. So it's kind of up to you which way you want to go. I personally am just going to trade NAV. I'm not going to stake them. But. Yeah,
and that's kind of the way I've looked at Envion. Is like Envion, the same thing with the background, the way they're doing it. I'm just gonna be trading it for right now, just to see where the price goes with it and see how the upturn or downturn may be in the next 6 months, just to see what it turns out to be. Because buying it in at 88 cents and Cory got in at 65 at the beginning of the ICO, being able to maybe sell it at $1, $2, $3, whatever it may be in the next 6 months, it'll be interesting to say the least. It's so funny because so many people tell me, oh, well, you got to look at those charts and, it's not looking good. And so many negativism that I hear about it. And it's like, yeah, but you got to understand the technology behind what they're doing to be able to put a mining unit inside of a rig, basically, that's inside of a container that they just pop up on a. That's just me. But anyway, Cory, anything else?
PIVX is another one of those where you need a master node. You got to have 10,000 PIVX to run a master node. I'm not sure what the price is, but I think it's like around $1 maybe for PIVX, give or take $1. I can't really remember. I didn't look up the prices like I thought I was going to before this. But regardless, you got to have 10,000 of those to run their master node. Zencash, I know we was talking about doing that. And what was it? You got to have like 300 Zencash. Is that how much it was to run one of their nodes?
Give me a second. I'll get back to you.
You had to have X amount. I can't remember what it was.
I think.
It was 28?
48, I think.
48. Okay, maybe it was going to cost us like $300. Maybe that's what it was. I knew there was 300 in there somewhere. But and you also have to factor in the cost of having what was it? Some sort of, we had to have something going on with the network, something specialized.
42. Yeah, the network had to stay up and running consistently because you had to have a decent connection so that you wouldn't, you're processing transactions and you're actually doing work to create blocks. So it's you can't just close your wallet and let it go. You actually have to have coins sitting in there doing their job.
So this is more like actually housing an actual wallet, but you're also running transactions. So you're going to need more of a server grade type thing where your connections, you have a fail safe for your connection in case anything goes wrong. You need power, just in case anything goes wrong with power. You need, everything. So much like web hosting is where we can pay for web hosting, do you think you could do the same thing and purchase server type things, not web hosting, but maybe server hosting and put some of this stuff on there, some of the software that runs this?
Yeah, I think with a master node that you get for Dash, it's actually like a big thing. It kind of looks like a router or something. You just plug it in and let it go. And you just host.
That's interesting thought. I never thought about it like that.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of, because, at my personal expense of my internet and my house and my electricity and everything here, I've only had this machine behind me cut off twice, but that's twice where it was off for like 8 hours, where I missed out of 8 hours worth of mining. So I couldn't have it running.
I've already told you I work for a company that makes UPSs. I can fix that deal for you real quick.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Just hold on. I got something for you. And this is the sad part is I haven't actually done this. But I have one.
No. Oh, it's APC too. Good job.
See, I have one. I just haven't taken the time to actually turn the machine off since it shut down the last time and plug everything back into it. So
I can get you the big boy.
But anyway, but yeah, that's the type of thing you need to be able to have fail safes for power, fail safes for your internet, which I'm pretty sure cable internet is, even without power, it'll still run if you're running, because your modem is still going to be getting signal over the copper wire, wouldn't it be, if as long as you have your battery backup?
Sure. I guess.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, either way, you have to have all those things. So that's the only reason why I was thinking, because like I pay for a website. I have my own website. I have server hosting that I pay for out of Texas, and they always have a server online, this, that, and the other. So I was just thinking along the lines of maybe I could buy more server, and put some of their software on there and just start running it from there.
No shameless plug there.
Oh, well, I meing, I've been creating subdomains all week long because I did the coin tracking thing. So we talked about being able to keep up with your stuff through coin tracking weeks ago, and apparently I did not pay attention to Shane. Shane even mentioned it, and I completely just spaced out apparently. And so I created my own personal link that goes to my affiliate link, so that no, I'm not going to shamelessly plug, but I do on my own personal accounts. Yes, I do share those affiliate links via my personal website subdomains. So
I got this website pulled up for Navcoin. I want to show it real quick. Whoops. So all right, so this right here shows the how blocks were staked based off of the amount that's in your wallet. And what's interesting about this is you have these big outliers here, the ones that are up to the 100,000 range versus the 10 range. So it's cool to see that you've got a nice median here of where all these are falling at. So if you have around 1,000, chances are you're going to be able to make a new block and get credit for it. So that was interesting about Nav, because it shows how it's not centralized, whereas one person who has a really big stack can't just push everybody around and make all these blocks and not let anyone else profit from it as well. So I thought that was interesting. So this is the kind of stuff that you'd want to look for coins if you have a chance to.
And what was the name of that website specifically for what you were looking at?
So this is crypto ID. So it's just for Nav.
Gotcha. Okay. So again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, right here on the side, there is a chat box. I don't see anything there live. We may not have anybody watching at this point in time, but if you do have questions, feel free to ask. I actually had someone message me after the show last week and said, I have 100 questions now. So that's what we are here for, is to answer questions, even if it is after the show during the week. We don't mind. We love taking questions. What else, Cory? Any other coins specifically?
I saw that Red Coin. I haven't really got into Red Coin a whole lot, but I know that's kind of like a tipping coin that people like to use. Apparently you can stake with that one. Stratus is another one. Lisk, but that Lisk and BitShares, those are some of those DPoS, but you have to be a delegate to get those payouts. Blocknet, Zencash, Substratum is another one where you're running a node and they're paying you. It's not really staking because you don't have to have any money on it. Basically, they're just paying you to run the node to help keep the network alive, because that's it. They're trying to work on decentralizing an internet. Like between me and you, I could run a node and someone could connect to my Substratum node and not necessarily have the internet. I'm not 100% on how it all works out because it's still very new, but they're trying to decentralize the internet. So check that one out. It's pretty interesting. Substratum.
Very, very interesting.
So with nodes, we could we could actually put that kind of close to, again, this is for people outside of cryptocurrency, not knowing anything about it. Nodes are more, I guess, if you've ever played any sort of online game, you could be your own server, your game server or whatever, and you're the one doing the hosting basically because you have a good connection or whatever, and everyone connects to you for in-game transactions where you're moving about the map, where you're shooting, you're killing, you're doing whatever. But in this instance, we're not gaming. We're actually doing transactions in between trading different of that particular coin and keeping that particular network alive. Does that sound like a good analogy?
It's
That's
more
pretty good. Yeah.
I look at it more of like a router. You know, for your home network, you've got a router that everything connects to, and transactions and stuff pass through.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Good way to look at that. So with all of these different coins and all of these different ICOs and different ideas and just interesting things, like you guys said, that it's coming out in the future, how in the world do we keep ourselves safe from some of these? Because we were actually talking about this in the chat earlier this week about people asking, hey, I want to share my idea with you, or hey, I want to share this with you, or hey, how do we protect ourselves against, some of these interesting but scary, we don't know whether we're putting our money in or not? What do you think some good tips are so that when you're out there doing these type of things, you're doing your research, what's some good tips to be looking for?
Don't buy anything.
Yeah.
No. That's the best way. Abstinence. Abstinence of crypto. That's the best way to keep yourself safe. Of course, you won't make anything if you don't put any money in it. So I mean, there's ways to kind of stay safe. You don't want, if something sounds too good to be true, don't get into it. Always check out badbitcoin.org. That's a great website to go to, and you can see what's a scam. They'll tell you all about this scam and that scam. So that's a good way to check things out. As far as like ICOs, some are kind of hard to tell. Some are
Good
really
luck.
flashy, but if you dig into it and get to the white pages and all that different stuff, the white pages. And so some of those can turn out to be absolute shit. Some of them can turn into gold nuggets. Yeah, it's just hard to tell. So don't ever put any more money in it that you're willing to lose. That's all I can say.
Shane, you had your hands up on your face there.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about those shit ones right now. But another thing you can do is a lot of these wallets offer the ability to back up your wallet and to export it. It's good to have 3 or 4 copies so that you can restore your wallet if your hard drive crashes or whatever. Put it on a flash drive, write it on a piece of paper, whatever you have to do. Put it in a lockbox, wherever you want, wherever you're comfortable with it, and have that backup so that if something happens, you can restore your wallet.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I like to do is once I get those 12 words from whatever wallet or whatever exchange that I'm setting up, after I do the password, after I do the 2-factor authentication, after I do all the setup and everything, I go through and I take those 12 words and I do 2 different things. I put them in a Word document and I put them on 2 different of one of my cloud services, one being OneDrive, and then one specifically I have that's like this one. But throw it off to the side here, but like my Western Digital, my cloud, something along those lines, or Dropbox, do whatever cloud service that you want. You can do encrypted ones like Treasure, but also print it out, put it somewhere. I hate paper. I really honestly do. I'm more of a digital guy. That's the reason why I love the idea of digital currency, but print it out and, save it for, whatever.
Yeah, another one, storage. You could put it on storage if you have some storage.
That's right.
It's a cloud service.
What was storage competitor?
Amazon.
We were talking about it the other day. Who was it?
Oh, like another crypto that was like storage?
Yeah, they have a competitor out there.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
I
don't remember looking into it.
Rusty, I know Rusty was talking about it specifically because he was talking about having renting storage to allow people to do whatever they wanted.
Well, I'm actually doing it through storage. Storage.storj.io, where you basically allowing your hard drive to be rented out. And I've had it up for like 3 weeks now, and I've only got 324 bytes. Not like 1 megabyte, not like 1 kilobyte, but 324 bytes. So I think someone's probably storing their key on my hard drive, and that's probably all they're storing. Other than that, I don't really know if it's really worth it because I don't know how well people know about storage.
Made safe is
Made safe. Okay. Yeah, that's another one that was trying to decentralize the internet, I think. That one's a pretty neat one. I haven't really looked into that a whole lot. One thing you might want to check on your storage, Rusty, you want to check on that UPnP. Make sure it's not black. I think mine's like 4,000 and it's black because I don't have some of these settings opened up enough. So you may have to go in there and mess around with some of your router settings and maybe send it through a different port in order to open it up. Because if your port's not open, then people aren't going to be able to access your hard drive enough and you won't get any storage coins.
I'll definitely have to check that out then. What was it, Shane? What was the other one? I think the name came through. Cory even said it.
Made safe.
Made safe. Are you doing the same thing? Are you getting made safe coins, or what are you getting?
I have a few.
Are you sharing your hard drive and I didn't know about it?
No. I just have the coins.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So I have my Arc wallet open if you want me to show it.
Yeah, go right ahead. Cory can actually probably run us through a little bit of that because I'm going to need some help with that after the show's over.
Cory, if you can get the links ready for how you find the delegates.
Like how much they pay out?
You have to turn off the blackout thing as well, remember. Yeah, you got the privacy thing on there so that whenever you pull up your actual Arc wallet, it doesn't allow for us to see anything. All we see is nothing but black.
Dang it. Okay, well, let's table that for a minute.
All right, well, I'll pull up the calculator. Is my screen being shared? Can you guys see it?
Yep.
All right, so once you choose your delegate, you can, or before you choose it, you can go on this website, this calculator.reconico.com. And whenever you go there, it's going to tell you that it's not secure, but it's whatever. You're not really entering anything that much. You're just putting in the amount of coins you have, or you can put in your receive address. Don't put in your private address. Put your receive address in here. And let's say you bought 18 ARC tokens. Click that because I have 18. So this is going to show you what your payout's going to be. So you go through here. It shows all of the different delegates that you can vote for, and it has all of their rankings. It tells you daily profit, weekly profit, monthly, yearly, and so on. And the one that I'm with is the Jarnuk. I guess that's how you say his name. He's down here somewhere. But anyway, he pays out about every 10 days, and it'll tell you the payout frequency right here, how often they pay out.
Okay, so you can. Was that your noise, or was that, where did that come from?
I didn't make any noise, so I don't know. I didn't hear any noise either.
Okay. Well,
This is the one. I found this guy on Reddit, and he was talking about it, and he's the one that kind of helped me get mine started, not personally, but through one of his posts. So it was nice.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my Arc client now, and I see mine just made a noise. I'm sorry, mine made the Mario up noise for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it'll do that whenever you get a payout.
Okay, I don't know how I would have gotten a payout because I don't think I've set up anything as far, because I see my address, my wallet here.
Oh, it confirmed your money that you have in there.
Okay, so there's my 3.4 wallet, my 3.41 that I have, and so I can go through. Let's see, votes. What was it? Settings? No, you had to walk me through it real quick, Corey.
What do you want to do?
You were showing those delegates on the website, so I was going to actually just happen to pick one up real quick.
Yeah, open delegate monitor.
Open delegate monitor. Here we go. And it's going to bring open the website.
That website.
So it looks like this is a separate website, but still doing the same thing. It's just showing me pretty much all the delegates that I can choose from. Now, what's this green light over here? They're available right now, or the gray being not available? What's the deal with that?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, just because I'm literally learning this on the fly. But anyway, I won't go much more into it. But I mean, this is basically what you're doing is because there's Jarnook, like you said. I could go through and look at the details of him, and then go through and pull him actually back to my ARC client and actually set him up to be my delegate. That's correct, right?
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. You may just click vote and then just enter their name, but I'm not 100% because it's been a minute since I last did it. So sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. But I just wanted to
yeah.
show it off since Shane's was black. I just wanted to show the actual ARC client up and running so that you could see it inside of the actual application. So, Shane, any other thoughts?
I had one. I've got my ARC open now, so I can show up with a delegate. Yeah, so here you can see where mine is. So I took my address and put it into that website, like Rusty said, and the number one suggestion was this person here. So you can see where I've gotten payouts: the 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. What's interesting though is I haven't gotten a payout in a few days, so I'm going to check on that to make sure that we're still good there. But like I said, I've got 9.4 ARC coins, so I did have to spend one with voting. So I can unvote at any time and find someone else if I want to. But that's basically it.
Yeah, okay. So now I see what you're doing. Okay. So yeah, I actually went through mine, and actually when you select a delegate, you can there's a drop down menu. It's the same as that list that's on the website. It's just scrollable. And so within the app, I can actually select my individual delegate and go ahead and have that done. So I may have to do that after the show. But I think that's it for our client. Any other last minute thoughts, ideas before I do a news story?
Not go for it.
Shane, anything?
Yeah, I got a basic list of things to remember. So basically, it's important to know if your coins are going to be locked in for a certain time frame, or how long it takes for your coins to actually start maturing. Jesus, Rusty. How long it takes for your coins to actually start to become mature so they can start staking. I know BitConnect is 15 days, unfortunately. So look for examples of payouts if you can. Make sure that people are actually getting payouts. Make sure that you don't have to have a certain amount of coins to actually get a payout. Understand how staking works. Make sure you know how it's going to work, what you're going to get, what you can expect, and know if you have to leave your wallet open or not. So that's kind of a big one. Sometimes you'll actually put coins in a wallet, like ARC, for example. I don't have to leave my wallet open. I know that it's going to do its thing, and I can just open it up and get a check, so to speak. But make sure you understand how if you've got to leave the wallet open or not, and that's pretty much it for now.
All right, yeah. That's awesome. So I wanted to share this story with you guys, and I shared it with you before. Cryptocurrency mining criminals netted $3 million as gear up for more. Apparently, these guys over the last 18 months have been mining and now have reached 10,829 Monero coins. These are a privacy coin. I may have mispronounced that, Monero, whatever. But they've been setting up all sorts of basically servers to go through and, run an application in the background on the server as you're out there on their servers and run through. And the TLDR is they've gotten just about 3 million in the last, 4, 5, 6 months, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's almost just like the other guys on the hack for the previous. What was it, the Rye coin? What was the one we were talking about last week?
Neo. Nano hack.
Nano. Sorry. Yeah. Shane. Yeah. Sorry about that. Nano. It wasn't really even a hack, to be honest with you. It was an inside job from the way I understood it. But now more money is being taken again. And it's interesting to say the least how the cryptocurrency world is such a wild, wild west right now.
This isn't really like they're not stealing coins. They're just stealing your power and making coins off of it. That's what they're doing with that miner. I have one of those miners on my website. So if you go to my website and you let it sit there, you'll give me a few coins, and that helps me out because I'm having to pay $200 a year to keep the website going. So if you could give me 7 cents in coins by just sitting on my website, I sure would appreciate it. rtggames.com.
It's important to make sure you inform your customers about what they're getting into, because if they're on your website and their power consumption goes to 100%, like, it's kind of unethical.
But no. It doesn't. I don't have it set that high. It's just basically on the very first screen. So if you wanted to stay on that very first screen for like a long time, you could do it on but you don't have to. It just goes there, and it's transparent right there. You can turn it off, you can turn it on. It's whatever.
Which one thing I think is kind of funny, and I'd like to see, one of the guys talked to me earlier this week, sent me a message about this healthcare related style coin and or mining effort where you basically do the same thing. You go to the website and it does this, or you download the Windows application, and it's more like folding at home was back in the day. So where you could donate your CPU, GPU, whatever power to this particular mining effort. So I think it'll be interesting, to say the least, where it heads to. Shane, you're shaking your head and laughing.
We have Cory and I have a mutual friend that we used to run around with for a little while that did some folding at home with. It's a long story, but we ended up having a roommate kicked out in college because of folding at home. It was the worst situation ever. But I used to play with that a little bit too, and that's one of the things that actually is interesting about blockchain for me, because it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the idea of being a decentralized bank. We're all running our own transactions. We're all doing our own thing. So I want to see it for Xbox, mainly because I have 4. I have 4 Xboxes sitting in my bedroom, one being the brand new one, the Xbox One X, the one behind it, the Xbox One S, which was the white version, and then 2 older ones, which is the 360 and then the original Xbox. But, the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S have powerful GPUs in them. I wouldn't mind leaving those suckers running and mining or making money on the side, just like, the GPU is behind me. So I'd like to see that.
Well, I'm not really a fan of the whole mining process. I do like nodes and proof of stake. So I would like to play around with my Raspberry Pis and have an actual network or node running on a Raspberry Pi. I mean, the least amount of work possible for the least amount of energy consumption. It's completely awesome. It's really fascinating to me. But here's another thing you have to remember. There are some of these coins or some of these wallets that require you to have the entire history of the blockchain on your hard drive, and that can take up a lot of space really quick. So just be mindful of that also. And that's one of the things that slows me down on a Raspberry Pi, because I don't have a bunch of extra hard drives lying around.
Well, you and I need to talk. I got hard drives for days laying around. No, I mean, that's kind of where Envion's trying to fix that problem of the power needed that you're paying for. So, and I think that's where Envion's like, they want to hook up more particularly to solar power than they want to coal, to nuclear, to hydro, any of that. Well, hydro, I guess, would be just as well because you're generating it from water source. But still, the idea is that they want electricity to be so cheap that it doesn't really affect the cost of everything from electricity to making video card prices go up, because the one that I have was $269. It's now over $500. So interesting to say the least. I think we'll see over the next 6-8 months, cryptocurrency make a big change, because everybody's out there trying to fix different problems with different coins on different pieces of how the blockchain works. So it's interesting to say the least. Why the giggle?
It's just there's so much information out there that it's almost not worth keeping up with. Like, there's so many different things, so many big words that's hard to understand that I watched a video today. There was a funny little section of that video where the person was talking about this and that, and they didn't want to deal with it anymore. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, was this just someone just now jumping into cryptocurrency and learning all the words, or what?
It's a vet. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay, that's fine. All right, well, that's been right at just under an hour. I think that's going to be it for us. Anything else before I start doing the tune-out stuff?
Nah.
Chat us up.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, don't forget, we always, as we do every week, have a chat box right here on the side. I didn't see anything this week, but always feel free to ask questions here on the side live. If you don't, feel free to connect with one of us separately. We will be more than glad to answer your questions. I'm trying to get more into our Discord channel just because I got in trouble the other day with BTC Venom for putting an @ here in one of the channels, but he forgave me because it was my first time doing it and because it was a referral link. But either way, here or there, we are on Discord. The link is down below. We each one of us separately have our own Facebooks, Twitters, whatever. Shane is, I think, only on Facebook. I don't think he does any social media.
Steven as well.
Yeah, that's
Twitter and stuff. I don't follow Twitter. I don't do the grams and stuff. Steven, Facebook, Discord. That's how you're gonna reach me.
Definitely check out his latest post on Steam as well. I actually read that about an hour before we even got chatting. Very interesting what you've got there. We'll have to talk about that offline. But anyway, we are trying to get more subscribers to be able to have youtube.com/cryptosis or /cryptosis network or cryptosis learning, something like that. We're not at 100, which is what we need to actually have that title. So if you can, please subscribe. We're only here once a week. We're only going to bother you late on a Tuesday night. Oh, and one other thing. I almost forgot. So in a few weeks, my personal working schedule changes because my job apparently every 3 months allows for job changing or schedule changing. So I have to go to a different schedule, and we're going to have to go to a different night. So starting March 5th, which I believe is a Sunday, or March 4th is a Sunday, starting March 4th, we're going to be on Sunday nights instead of Tuesday nights. So if you're watching this now or watching this later.
About that, I'm not going to be here March 4th, so I'm going to be in Colorado, so I won't be attending that one.
That's fine.
So you and Shane can take care of that one.
If it's legal there and you bring it back here, it's illegal.
I'm just going to meet family and stuff, so that's all that is. I did. Let me go ahead and give a quick shout out. This one guy's started subscribing to us. He's been talking to me. He's got some 3D browser he's been working on, and he was talking about wanting to include some of our shows, and he's been getting a lot of information from me. So I was going to give it a shout out. No, it's Diary Rooms, VIRIROOMS. He's working on doing a beta, and it looks kind of neat. So you might want to check it out. And I told him we'd do a shout out for him. So if anybody else wants to get with us, do a shout out on the show, we'll do it for you. We all about helping out everybody.
He's not paying us anyway.
No, he's not paying me a dime. If he was paying me a dime, I'd have shouted out at the beginning.
Awesome. So you guys check out all the links below. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask questions here in the chat box or hit us up during the week. We've got our own Discord channel just as well. You guys have yourself a wonderful, great, wonderful week. I put too many words in one long sentence like that. I can't believe it. I've got to end the show. You guys be safe. Go out there, hodl your coins, sell more coins, do whatever it is that you do. But we have got to go.
And stay consistent.